Our guest today had but two dreams as a child. The first, to enlist in the military to fight for freedom. The second, to play pro baseball. Those dreams both became a reality, but the path it took is one that is so compelling. I'm your host, Rachel Dares.
And I'm Marshall Thomas, and you're on PASSIONDRIVEN.TV.
Hi, joining us today is Doc Jacobs. Welcome, Doc.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here on PASSIONDRIVEN.TV. So we've heard your story, and we are so excited to have you here. You're a military man and also a major league, well, hopefully a major league pro baseball player, right?
Aspiring pro baseball player, I guess. I did 8 years, 2 months, 19 days of service, and you kind of count it down like a prison sentence, I guess. But yeah, I got out and just decided, hey, I'll just pursue my next dream and try and play professional baseball. So
very nice. So we've heard your story, but give us a backdrop of what happened and how you actually are an aspiring major pro baseball player now.
Well, I was injured in Iraq. I was injured 18 months into service. I went through a year of training, and then I deployed, and I got injured 6.5 months into my time overseas. And I decided that, hey, I'm going to try and continue on my service regardless of my injuries. And I mean, I kind of had the deck stacked against me to start. And I mean, it's still been stacked against me, but I mean, I woke up in the hospital, and the doctor was standing over me, and I still had the breathing tube in and stuff, and he stood over me and he said, I need to amputate both of your legs. And he said, I need you to move your eyes up and down for yes, or left and right for no. And I just kind of squinted at him like, what do you mean? Like, I still have my legs, I'm here in the States, and you want to amputate them now? Like, I made it this far. So I fought 2 years of recovery, and then I went back to full duty. And then I just said, you know what? I did enough after 8 years, and I wish I could have done more. I mean, you just always get that feeling like you could always do more. But then I said, you know what? It's time for me to move on and just move on to the next thing. And I felt I could inspire more people and do more good while I was out. So I went that route, and I met Mr. Lasorda, Mr. Tommy Lasorda, the legend. And he asked me if I could hit a baseball. And I said, yes, sir, I can. And I said, you just come on out and give it a shot with the Dodgers. And that ignited my whole dream again. So
that's amazing. But can you take us back? Because our audience actually doesn't know your story. We do, and that's why you're here on the show. So take us back. What happened?
I was injured by a roadside bomb, and I'm lucky to be here. And I battled through 59 surgeries so far, and I still have one of my legs. I'm a left below the knee amputee, and I still have my right leg, and I still have my hands and stuff, so minus partial digits, but those are just partial, so yeah. But yeah, I was hit, and I did 3 months in the surgery ward, inpatient care, where I was in and out of surgery just about every other day, and that was limb salvage and just a bunch of other stuff just to try and keep my legs and just to battle the infection that everybody gets from the injuries overseas and stuff. And then, so 2 years of recovery, and then I bounced back. So
that's amazing.
After those 2 years of recovery, you did another tour of duty, though, right? I mean, they sent you back overseas?
No, they actually didn't. I tried my hardest to go back. I really, really wanted to, but I don't know. It was still kind of a new thing with the military, with the Navy. But the Marine Corps, they were happy to have me back, and they were really pushing for me to go.
Sure.
But Navy-wise, they said, no, you need to run through a test trial. And so I went through their test trial and stuff. And then I went back to duty, and just some political issues there, and I just couldn't go. So
you originally joined the Navy, but they attached you to a Marine unit.
Yes.
In Iraq.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Once you have the option to go what is called green side or blue side. And you can go blue side, which is Navy side, but then I went green side. I had a guarantee to my contract, so I wanted to go join the Marine Corps side and fight alongside the Marines. And
Gotcha.
and save, whatever lives I could as a doc. So.
Now, with the major injuries, what compels you to actually go back and pursue the military?
I had it in me that I wanted to just stay and do 20 years.
Okay.
I come from a long line of military heritage, and I just wanted to continue it. And once I was injured, I remember just being in the back of the Humvee on my way to the surgical unit, and I said, you know what, I'm going to be back. I'm
Wow.
going to come back. And I didn't know I was going to lose my leg. I didn't know what laid ahead of me, but I just had that drive straight from minutes after. I said, you know what, I'm coming back. And then I woke up in the hospital, and my dad asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, I want to continue serving. And he just said, you do it.
Yeah.
And he had a motto. He painted this little poster, and 3 simple letters: PMA, positive mental attitude.
That's right.
And he hung it at the end of my bed, so every time I looked up, it was right there.
That was your vision.
Yeah.
Is that what continues to push you on that mission of, pursuing your passions?
My dad pushing me.
Yeah. Well, that vision of that PMA that he
Yeah.
actually put right there in front of you.
That sticks in my brain, and I think of it all the time, and just my dad's drive to let me continue doing what I do, but also the fact that I have the abilities and the mental strength to push forward and lift others up, and just say,
Right.
you know what, yeah, you may be going through this, but you're not going through it alone. And if it wasn't for my mentors, I probably wouldn't be here. I mean, they picked my hand up when I reached up, and
Sure.
yeah, good
Now,
people.
you're touching other people's lives now.
Yes.
And you're sharing what you've been through and inspiring others as well.
Yes.
With your story, which I think is phenomenal. That's what Passion Driven's all about.
Thank you.
It definitely is. So what's next now? I know you have this baseball dream ever since you were a kid in Ohio.
Yes.
And I know it's definitely attainable. I brought a little thingy here to show you. There's a gentleman by the name of Jim Abbott.
Oh, wow.
He played for 10 years on 4 different teams,
Yep.
including the Brewers and ultimately the Angels. For
Yeah.
those out there,
The
he
one-handed
was
pitcher.
That's
one of the
right.
only one-handed pitchers
Yeah.
in the league. So it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely doable.
He's pretty awesome. And then I know that there was one leg amputee.
Ah,
Yeah, I think it was 1936. He played with the Chicago White Sox. Monty Stratton, I believe.
Gotcha.
And yeah, he lost his leg in a hunting accident, but he was already pro. And they let him continue out his career, which is very admirable of the White Sox to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I personally, for me, I want to give baseball another year. I'm 29, so I know they start looking at age as a factor.
yeah.
yeah.
Baseball's a little more forgiving than some of the other sports, but
Yeah.
you can still play. Yeah, you could probably do another 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, in the meantime, I do a lot of cross training. I just completed the Detroit half marathon.
Okay.
Yeah, on October 19th, I ran the half in 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
and
fantastic.
well, like you said, the mental attitude, the PMA. I got to mile 11, and my right IT band just was so tight, and I didn't know. I couldn't feel my quad. I just felt knee pain, and I just said, you know what? I'm just going to power through this.
Wow.
Carry on.
Yeah, so my buddy and I, we continued on, and we ran 2-point-something miles just to finish it out. And afterwards, I could barely walk, but yeah.
It felt good,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah, crossing that finish line was amazing, so
Accomplishment.
yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
But yeah, I have a lot of other goals. I have a nonprofit that I help co-found, and I'm the West Coast director for.
What is it called?
It's called Vet Sports.
Okay.
Yeah, VETSPORTS. And I also have a talk show called the Devil Doc Talk Show.
Nice.
And I have another big project that I'm working on with the American Amputee Society.
Okay.
I'm going to potentially start the first San Diego Amputee Society. And I'm going to
That's where you reside now, San
Yes,
Diego.
yes.
Yeah, very good.
And I'm going to hopefully work with the amputees in the community and
Very good.
potential future amputees, because unfortunately there is an increase in amputees because of accidents, war injuries, whatever the case may be, or diabetes, illnesses, and so I think it's good to start that up and just keep that positive mental attitude going.
Absolutely.
Sure. Start in your community and let it work out from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I mean, it's definitely what Passion-Driven TV is all about. It's really about showcasing the people that are living their dream and inspiring others to do the same.
Yeah.
And just as you've talked about your mentors, you're actually paying it forward now and actually doing some mentorship, correct? Yes,
I am, and it's a tough task. I mean, no matter how many, even if you just have one person that you're mentoring, it's a lot.
I can imagine.
But I'm just blessed that I can do it and be somebody that somebody else can look up to and say, look, if this guy made it through this, I can make it through that. And some of my mentors I never even met before, and I mean, just their actions have helped me. And I'll use an example. When I was laying in my barracks room right after I lost my leg, I was battling an unknown pain, the phantom limb pain, and it was really, really digging at me because no medication out there covered the pain, and I was just, why did I cut my leg off, blah, 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 I'm still in pain, and I was battling these internal demons, and for some reason I bought the movie Men of Honor, and whatever, I'll just watch it, Cuba Gooding Jr., he's on the cover, and I was like, okay, I watched it, and I was just so driven by Carl Brashear and his strive to be a master diver still as an amputee. I was like, man, that is phenomenal. And I never got to meet the gentleman, but I'm blessed to just have watched his movie and been inspired by it. But yeah. It was just so phenomenal.
Ultimately, how do you get past that phantom pain with hypnotism or meditation? How does one get past that? I mean, if the medication isn't working, how does one dig deeper within and get past that?
Well, they have a lot more therapies now. They do the mirror therapy, where they, I don't know exactly the science behind it, but they put a mirror where your other limb you should be, so your brain thinks that your other leg's there, or other arm, or whatever the case may be. But I never really did that because my right leg's so messed up. I was like, well, I don't want my brain to think that my left leg is there, but it's still messed up. So it was just some psychological thing inside my brain. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But I just got up and got motivated to do something, and just one of my doctors, I don't know if it was like a placebo effect, but he told me the more you wear your leg, the more you're active and whatnot, the less you'll desensitize those nerves and stuff. And I just, okay, cool. And I got up and I was at the gym doing my stuff, and and I don't know if it was a placebo effect, but I mean it worked regardless. Right. So he's a very smart man. Right.
We talked yesterday, and you're like, so what do you want me to do? Do you want me to run? And I was like, run? Well, maybe not in this, segment.
Yeah. A few dance moves. Might
Right.
Maybe show us.
Well, because a lot of, I just figured you guys might want some footage of me, like, running 6 miles or something crazy,
that
or
is
in the batting cages. I was like, okay, I'll be prepared for whatever. So,
right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just kind of glad you guys didn't. So.
Yeah, we'll have you do that on the promo.
Footage.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be in training later today, so I'm not too worried. But yeah.
Perfect. Well, what is it that continues to fuel your passion?
Just the strive to know that I can inspire people, and just knowing that even able-bodied people I can inspire.
Absolutely.
Even when I went back to duty and I was at the test trial, the Navy's test trial phase for me, just the new guys, as soon as they would find out that I was an amputee, they were just so flabbergasted. Because I wouldn't even show them that I was an amputee. I wouldn't let them know. And I would wear my uniform pants all the time, and when we'd go running, I would just wear the same thing, and I wouldn't let them know I was an amputee. And then after a while, I would just, hey guys, we're gonna go get our physical training on, blah blah blah, motivated. And then I just show up in shorts and just like look at me like,
Oh.
what the?
Wow.
They were like, you were just doing all that the previous months and what? Yeah,
got to be mind-boggling for them.
Yeah, and it was just so awesome that I could inspire able-bodied people that way. And so I just said, you know what? I'm just going to keep on going. If I can inspire people with all their limbs, I can inspire people with no limbs.
Mm-hmm.
So I just...
That was a great test
Yeah.
that you put your comrades through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of them came back to thank you and said, hey, you know what? You did motivate me. I'm going to try a little harder now and train a little harder.
Yeah.
If you can do it, I can do it. And thanks for coming out.
Yeah, I figured it was kind of an embarrassment type deal for them too, because I'd be out there and I'd be leading them in training and stuff, and then running past all these more junior guys and just beating them, that way. And I think they were just kind of embarrassed, yet they were also proud to have me as a leader in that aspect. But yeah, I think they're all doing great nowadays. I keep in touch with them all, and they're doing wonderful. So
Good.
Nice.
yeah. And
You have friends that have come back from doing their tour of duty that you keep in touch with?
Oh,
Some
yeah.
of the other mates from the service?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. I keep in touch with them all, and we're actually going to have it might be 9-10 year reunion coming up.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's going to be a pretty fun shindig. But
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of Army lads back together,
Yeah.
and anything's liable to happen.
yeah, we decided Vegas, and then I said, spouse is optional ? And they were like, no, it's. They said no families. We're just going straight old school. So I was like,
gosh.
okay, well, we'll have fun with this, guys.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, the story is a fascinating one, and I know there's more to come, along with the being a motivational, inspiring person down in San Diego and in other places for other amputees
Yes.
and other service personnel and non-service personnel. Indeed, what's on the horizon? I mean, you must be working on your memoirs, I would imagine. This is quite a story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have most of my story written down. I'm about 238 pages into it, and my goal is to have it done and edited, ready to send to a publisher by December 31st.
Ah, very good.
Very nice.
So I want to close out 2014 on a good note.
Nice.
And I don't have any contacts with publishers or whatnot, but I mean, even if I just self-publish it on Amazon and a few people read it, that means the world to me. Just
And that's
getting my story out there.
easy way to go these days is self-publishing. Yeah. However, all the exposure you're getting, I wouldn't imagine it'd be too hard to get a publisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I don't
somebody's
think that would be a
looking
problem
at you.
at all.
Yeah, you send out a few query letters, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'll share a little bit about the book. I'm going to leave Iraq in Iraq. And a lot of people ask me about that, well, why don't you put all that in there about all the things you've gone through? And I said, you know what? War should stay war.
Yeah, that's a treacherous part of the world. It still is. We're still
yes.
dealing with treacherous times in that part of the world, especially even this
Yeah.
day now. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, and the president is having to make decisions. Do I really send troops, or do I just continue to do airstrikes? And
Yes.
and it's a very tumultuous time still. And I can't hardly blame you. I don't know if you're searching for that passion-driven book, maybe leaving that dark side out is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That might be something for another book, a follow-up.
Yeah.
If you,
Well, I think I'll write it all down and just, store it away. But, maybe just to help deal with my demons of what I experienced over there. But also just, hey, maybe grandchildren of grandchildren one day will want to read it and
exactly.
just know what I've gone through. But
Right.
I want my book to be an inspirational piece.
Nice.
And obviously I gave a little bit of backstory about what I've
Sure.
gone through and who I am and whatnot, but I also wrote in there from the time I woke up in the hospital until the time I got out of the service.
Okay.
And I want my whole time in there and my struggles of dealing with people who don't understand what I'm going through and the limitations that they placed on me based on what they would perceive themselves doing as
Right.
somebody in my situation, which
Exactly.
kind of sucked, but I just bit my tongue and just said, okay, that's fine. That's how you feel. And just bought my time and moved on to the next evolution. And so I figure it's a pretty inspirational piece, but I figure the aftermath of my time in the service, the last 2 years, I could write about that and just keep going from there.
Definitely.
And it's kind of like a sequel, I guess.
Continuation
Yeah.
of things to come, changes and phases.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that has been a long 2 years, but
Well,
yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
2 years struggling through what you say, the demons, and getting well, and getting back out into civilian life.
Yeah, it was pretty tough because, I mean, a lot of people, I want to say that they have their vision of the VA, you know, and how it should work and this and that, and then they tell you, oh, it's the worst thing ever and whatnot. So you get out and you expect this huge battle and blah blah blah. And, I mean, I've had issues transitioning, but I just battled through them, and I have no issues now.
I mean, you're talking about getting benefits from the VA, that sort
benefits,
of thing.
healthcare, stuff like that. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
and I know everybody out there has their different battles with the system and whatnot, but I've been blessed and not really had to deal with much of it. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, the first few months was tough, and then from there, I just, okay, not so bad, just move on.
My dad just turned 80. God bless him. He lives in Ohio, by the way.
Right.
And
Go Bucks.
He stepped on a landmine in Korea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, thank goodness he was not walking, but he was running. So
Yeah.
he managed to keep his foot and his leg. But after working 20 years on the railroad after that in civilian life, it's taken its toll. And the VA's been very good to him. In fact, they just upped his percentile past 50%, I think, to about 80%.
That's good.
Because they know that as he gets older, that leg and that foot will begin to bother him even more. So, but it hasn't really been an uphill battle. Some do, some don't. I hear stories of vets coming back, or military personnel coming back from Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan, and having to wait sometimes 2-3 years before they see any benefits.
Yeah.
So I know the system has got its glitches. It's not broken, but it does have its glitches.
And it's definitely not perfect, but I mean, what system is?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're right on.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter if it's our education or our judicial or whatever.
Yeah.
There's things that are broken.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just blessed that my 2 years out, I've had small battles with the system, but I want to say my biggest battle was actually sitting down and writing the book.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for this book?
I don't yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I'm trying to think of something clever, but I
Right.
might have to reach out to my smart aleck friends.
Well, maybe on that reunion trip, one
you'll
of
come
the
up with
gang
it.
will come up with something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It should be interesting what my guys come up with.
Well, Doc, thank you for your service.
Well, thank
we
you.
really, really appreciate that. Is there a message that you would want to actually share with our audience?
I want to say, just battling the demons and stuff. I did feel like at some times I would be better off 6 feet under, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore and whatnot. And I know currently the suicide rate amongst veterans is 22 veterans per day take their lives.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, we have a massacre here in the States every day with our own guys, and I just want to say, hey, just reach out and, give it a few more days and, just talk to somebody. And, if nobody's there when you reach out, get into a group of friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Make the change.
Yeah.
Make the change. If there's anything that's consistent in all of our lives, it's change.
Exactly.
evolving.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can count on it.
And I mean, if you're going through any struggles, I mean, just pick up the phone and call somebody. Contact my nonprofit. Contact me directly. I don't care. I'm up late at night mentoring, talking to people all the time. So
Very good.
I mean, you're not alone in whatever struggles you're battling. So that's my message.
Very good. How would we get a hold of you?
You can contact the Devil Doc Talk Show, Vet Sports. I'm connected with all those on Facebook, just Doc Jacobs or the Devil Doc Talk Show or Vet Sports, and you guys can find me. So
Devil Doc. All right.
Yep.
I love it.
Sounds good. Well,
Yeah.
again, thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
being
you.
on
Wonderful
PASSIONDRIVEN.TV.
guest.
Our guest today, Doc Jacobs, told us of a childhood dream of his to be a Major League Baseball player and the passion-driven path he has taken to attain that dream. I encourage you to look for the greatness in your life today. There's nothing insignificant, weak, or unimportant, or even average in our lives. Your passion won't be found in a classroom or an apprenticeship, a teacher, or a flattering remark from well-meaning friends or family. It's within you. There's an ancient saying, I get what I think about, whether I want it or not. So think about how fortunate you are to have greatness located within yourself. I will plant that seed, you let it grow, let it flow. Thank you for watching PASSIONDRIVEN.TV today. Be good to each other, and we'll see you on the next edition.